I never thought that I should go be out and be a professional. No? Katrine Lunde is an exceptional goalkeeper and person. I'm not used to this. I don't have the skills that are needed to succeed in the Spanish league. Hello everybody, I'm Mats Olsson, member of the coaching team of the Norwegian women's team and also goalkeeper coach in Flensburg. And welcome to Handball Mastermind. I'm not coming from a handball family, no. I'm coming from a family that likes sports, a lot of it. So when I think I was 11 years old, I was playing football, I was doing other things. And the local handball club came to the school and asked if you want to go into the tournament and play handball on the Saturday mornings. And we were looking to the boys, let's go. I like the position as a goalkeeper, no, because from the beginning I was feeling, okay, I'm all the time active, no. When I was playing football, first I was playing as a field player, and then also I went into the goalkeeper there. They asked me, you're a goalkeeper in handball, why don't you try it in football? And it was boring. So I felt in love with the handball from the beginning. No? The action, to be always integrated in what's happening in the game as a goalkeeper and so on. And I can live a little bit doing my crazy things in the goal in that time without any coaching. There was no coaching when I was young, so just played. You could just stop the ball the way you wanted to stop it. No, for me, it's still one of the things I say to the young goalkeepers when they're asked about technique. No, don't think about the technique. Just play. Stop the ball. If you do it the right hand, left hand, the foot, whatever, just do it. No, football until I was 15 or 16 years, and I say I stopped with it also because I want to focus on one way, and that was the handball, because I was enjoying handball, and I was, like you said, getting in a little bit of the regional national team, then going into the first games with the junior national team and so on. So I think I discovered quite early that I have a talent for this, no? Around 15, 16 years. But I never felt any pressure that said to myself, because, okay, we had a handball team in Malmö that was playing at the highest level. It was not my club, it was a bigger club in that EHF Malmö. And I went to see the games there sometimes and I enjoyed the atmosphere and so on. But I never felt like, okay, I'm going for handball, I will be a handball professional, this is my life. I said, I played for enjoy, no? And then the life was going on, and when I was 19 years old, after the military service we did in Sweden at that time, the junior world championships with one generation before mine, I was playing with them. I went to the team in the highest division, Lugi, with 20 years old. And then, okay, then I was more focused on, but still then, I was not thinking like this should be my career. No? I was coming into the national team with 19 years old for the first time. But even then, I played for fun. I never thought that I should go be out and be a professional. No? And I was working. I was working in Sweden in a computer company and doing my life, training in the afternoons with a team in Lugi, playing the Swedish league the weekends and so on. And suddenly, when I was 28 years old, I had a phone call. And they asked me if I could come and play with Teka Santander in Spain. I said, wow, this could be fun. So I went to my boss and asked, is it possible to have excellence for 2 years? So this is a small dream. I said, I have a possibility to just 2 and in Spain and so on. I said, okay, let's go Mats. He liked sport. He was a sports guy also. So I was so lucky to be picked up by Santander, to find this amazing place in the north of Spain, Santander. So this was a first joy to say, oh, this place is very nice. Beaches, green, mountains, sea, everything. And then the culture shock was clearly big for me to come to a professional club, because Teka Santander in that time, it was not a club, it was a team. It was called Grupo Deportivo Teka. And they had 12 players. That's it. And I was used to playing in a club with different levels, junior, being in the hall, staying, helping, doing everything. And suddenly we were 12, and then hello and goodbye. So that was a big shock, first of all. No? But we had good relations inside the team. The 12 players, we had a good connection. I had a good connection with my other goalkeeper colleague. In the first time, it was Perico Garcia, who was playing in Spain. And then the second shock was how they played handball comparing with what we did in Sweden, because now it's more mixed, no? But in that time it was more separated. No? How the style. In Sweden I was used to have a 6-0 defense, the blocking, you go here, I go there, I could read the defense, do there, and suddenly we came to the first training, a little bit of playing, or the first playing handball, and I said, wow, where are they? One player was right there, the other defender was there, and suddenly it was a totally different way for me to play handball. So I felt in the beginning that, oh, this will be a problem. I'm not used to this. I don't have the skills that is needed to succeed in the Spanish league, because it was much more play 1 against 1. It was much more feinting. The defender was, like today, what we say, going blitzing, going up on the other side. They made it in the late 80s, no? So for me, it was a huge steps to find my style, to fit into the Spanish way of playing handball. No? So I think the first month, some people may have doubt, was this the right choice to pick up this guy from the Nordic country? Everything has changed now, and I will say almost of the most things to the better now. We have a game even more speedy. Even we were in the Teka Santander that we played. We won the Spanish league. We won the first Champions League, 1994. We won it, and we had a team that it was growing year from year, picking in better and better players. But the top team from the beginning in Spanish league, and we played with a lot of speed. No. When I came to Spain, this team with 12 professional players, because I left the club in Sweden, a good amateur club, Lugi. We were among the 4 best in Sweden. And there was an organization. And suddenly come to Spain, the organization was 1 coach, 1 manager, 1 physiotherapist, and that's it. We didn't have a physical preparator. It was Javier Garcia Cuesta. He was in the beginning doing everything. There was no second coach, there was no goalkeeper coach, there was nothing, no. It was training with him, physical training, handball training, whatever it was. Did you have a problem? You went to the physiotherapist and he said, okay, you want to go good, in again. Mm-hmm. I had always the plan to go back to the civil work without outside handball, no. And then I was there 6 years. I went back to Sweden. I continued to play and started to work again in another company in the computer business. But then I had my first phone calls from one of the first was really from the Norwegian Federation, from the men's team. And the coach of the men's team, Harald Madsen, at that time asked me if I can come up to Norway and help him to work with some goalkeeper talents. And I said, Harald, I'm still playing, I'm working. And I could, yeah, but just you can come up 1 day a month or every second month, you give them some advices and so on. So that was my first really, and I said, okay, this could be fun, this could be different, this could be interesting. So I accepted the challenge, no? So. And then I worked with like Steinar Eige and Sindre Wallstad, Gunnar Fossing, players that they were young in that age, no? And tried to give them some advices, coming once a month, and I enjoyed it. So, and that was the first step, no? And then Marit Breivik, who was with the women's side, heard about it. Then she contacted me, can you help me with my goalkeepers? So that was the way how I started to be a goalkeeper. I have always been liking to try to help others when I was playing back in Sweden. One of my, the second goalkeepers who were working with me was Mattias Andersson. So I took over the role as a mentor to him, no, from the beginning. He was 17 years old and I was a double age of him. So he was looking up to me, and I saw a great talent in Matthias, and he was already then asking a lot of questions. He wanted to be, I want to be, can you help me? What can I do in this situation? So we started to discuss a lot of goalkeeping in that ages, no? So that's where I started to think about, okay, this could be something I could do beside being working in the computer business, no? And then after a couple of years, my Spanish girlfriend, we went up to Sweden, we should be living there, but I saw it was very difficult to come up, and I decided to go back to Spain because I had an offer from the old club. It was not named Teka Santander anymore, it was called Caja Cantabria, to be the manager for the club. So I went down to be a manager for them, and I was at the same time working with the Norwegian Federation as a goalkeeper coach, and I was working a little bit with the Swedish radio and the expert commentator. So I had, okay, I can mix the life doing this and this and this, and so then I started, okay, 100% with handball from year 2000, and I finished in the computer business. I started to understand that goalkeeping, I have to try to understand how the other person is looking at the goalkeeping, not how I am looking at it, because we have different point of view. So from the beginning, I learned that I have to go out of myself and not try to anyone to play like I did, because I was myself, no? And at the same time, I can say, at the beginning of my career in the Swedish national team, I was playing together with Claes Helgren, and we were coaching each other in the national team. That was the culture in the Swedish national team, that the goalkeeper were coaching each other. We didn't have a goalkeeper coach, but Claes coached me, I coached him. And I remember the first time he had a totally different style. He has more the Palika style, no? Attacking, very physically, well prepared. And I was more tall and so on. But I remember among the first times I came to him, and he was older than me, and he said to me, okay, Mats, I show my favorite exercise. Now, next one you take your favorite exercise. And then we was going, which one I was learning from him, he was learning from me. Changing exercises, changing outside the goal, inside the goal, coaching each other. So in some way, I learned to coach when I was still playing with other goalkeepers. No? When I was playing for fun. I didn't feel pressure, no? Okay, you're always nervous. One thing is be nervous. You have to be nervous when you go into the game. I was nervous in all the games because that's good for the system of the body, to be a bit nervous. But I never felt pressure that if I fail, I will be out, it will be this and this. And I think that is one of the most important things in this position that is so, to say, focus. I don't want to say pressure, because the pressure you put on yourself and somebody else, and you maybe today with so much professionalism and salaries, I want to go to a bigger club and so on, maybe some goalkeepers are putting too much pressure on themselves and they forget to enjoy, to have fun to play a game. And then normally, if the body is loose and you're not playing pressure with I have to save the next ball, I have to do this. When you play with this pressure, a lot of times you're taking down yourself. No, I've never been to an education of psychology or something like that. I read some books, but create a good human relation with the goalkeeper. No, to understand the goalkeeper you're working with. How is your life outside? A lot of times we are a small team inside a team. No, so. And I, as a goalkeeper coach, I want to be integrated in this team and not be like, I'm a coach coming to you, you have to listen to me, and then I go away. In the beginning, when I was working with the Norwegian women's team, and I started to work efficiently to them on a regular basis from 2005, so I'm 20 years inside the team. First, only working as a goalkeeper coach, then more inside the technical stuff, but specifically for the goalkeepers. No, in the beginning, when we were traveling around, I was the only one. The other teams, national teams, clubs, didn't have goalkeeper coaches. Nowadays, we can see the development has been that almost every team, at least in Europe, has goalkeeper coaches into the staff now. Some of them are working daily basis, some of them are more full contract and so on. So that is the first step of the development. No? Then we have this, to say, most of these goalkeeper coaches, as I began, it was by yourself learning. No? And some of them maybe took over how they play to try to put it into the player. And now we have more and more courses. For Norway, for example, we have for more than 10 years we're giving goalkeeper coaching courses. We did now the summit, the second summit here with the European Handball Federation. And I know other countries like Germany and so on, they are educating goalkeeper coaches. No? So the evolution has been going from former players to go in to be goalkeeper coaches with more or less knowledge, and then going from to the goalkeeper coaches that is educated, learning to how can you see, how can you observe, what can we do, like we did now here. And now the next step, I hope in the future that we have even more goalkeeper coaches, that we have more contact between the goalkeeper coaches to try to develop, like we have in head coaches with the master coach and so on. Now we had a level 1. I hope that in level 2 we will have it in 2 years, where we can more and talk about the mental part, the analysis of the game and so on. So I see that it's necessary because, as I said, the game has changed so much, and the specific goalkeeper position has changed so much, and how to play it comparing, for example, 10 years ago. So the goalkeepers coaches or the goalkeepers trainers who was training like we did for 10 years ago, they have passed away because of the goalkeepers today. They need other information. They need other type of coaching. The situation in the game is different. How we treat the people is different. We don't like in the old days that they said, yeah, you go to the left, it's yours. He's shooting there, you should go there or go to the right. And nowadays we ask the question, what was your thought? What did you see? How can you make it better for the next time? Can you use another strategy? So we try to help the goalkeeper to be goalkeeping themselves. My coaching style is, I try, for example, in the games, to talk as less as possible for the goalkeeper, just a little bit when they are coming to me, because I'm not playing. Let the goalkeeper play, So this is maybe the balance right now from the goalkeepers in the old school that still thinks they can tell the goalkeeper that next shot is coming there, next shot is doing this, or instead of develop the goalkeeper to be a thinking person. How many hours do we have? Katrine Lunde is an exceptional goalkeeper and person. I'm very happy to have met her. The same as I was always very happy to meet the other goalkeepers in Norway, like Kari Olvik, Grimsbø, Silje Solberg, Katrine Lunde, the three most famous. But first of all, with all three of them, and also especially maybe with Katrine, the dedication. The dedication, talking about love to the position, to the handball. I think I never met a person that has so much feeling, so much love for the sport, for the position. I say that Katrine Lunde a lot of time has been or is still, the person that put most pressure on me. Katrine will never accept repetition. She wants something new, she wants to be challenged. But the cue to work with Katrine is to work with her, sometimes a little bit out there, and then go back, to be between challenge and confidence, And the way she is looking at handball, understanding the handball when you're doing analysis, how she can go back more 10 seconds before the shot is coming, looking at the game, what's going to happen, this trajectory is coming, it will be shooting. It's amazing, And then, like we said, I can give one example. Before the Olympics 2024, Katrine Lunde stopped early with a club in Norway. They finished the season, and in the beginning they said they would continue to training handball. Then I heard that they stopped training handball. So I called her, Katrine, it's still 4 or 5 weeks that we should have the first concentration. You need to play handball. I know, Mats, but I have a problem because the club have stopped. So I said to myself, okay, when we start the preparation for the Olympics, I have to start slowly with her, to let her build her up, to go with the skills until, okay, we start a little bit first, second train a little bit slowly with the whole team. And then so, but she likes always. And instead of starting low here, could start up here. So she had this 4 or 5 weeks, the preparation for the Olympics. I saw she was growing, and she went into the Olympics in an extraordinary shape, no? But the mentality of Katrine is coming first to the training, be the first one out, mentally prepared, putting a lot of effort to the other players. We are here to play for the Olympics. Now we go for 100%. When the training is over, we were in the south of France. We can enjoy, we can go to the beach, whatever, but when we are training, we are training. First in, last out, Katrine. First mentally prepared for the training, Katrine. And that is her. And then some journalists asked me after the World Championships that Katrine Lunde was the MVP of the tournament with 44 years. And then they asked, did you expect this? And my answer was yes. But I didn't expect when she was coming in the beginning of the preparation to come in that level. But what I saw during the preparation, I was not surprised that this happened, that she was on that level, no? But if you had asked me 1 year before that she will be MVP, no, I don't think so. But when I saw her 4 weeks before, 5 weeks before, and how she was going on, how she was mentally, and I think one of the things for Katrine in that way was also, she said to us, she has 2 Olympic golds, 8 and 12, but she played with Nora Mörks, Stine, Vicky, a lot of players. They didn't have this gold. And she felt, I want to help them. And she put that pressure on her health for the love of her girlfriends in the team. I want them to help them to have this Olympic gold. And she went for it. When I started to work in Norway, I didn't know that it was this different between Sweden and Norway. You know? In Norway, the percentage is, first of all, there are more women playing handball and men in Norway. Women handball, it's the most popular sport after football. So when we play in games in December, the World Championship, we have more than 25% of the population watching the games, not the share of the television, population. And this means they are stars, they have a lot of time in the press and the media and so on. And when you put that into what is to be a handball player in Norway, a women handball player, and also the men's now, it's what I can say, the dedication, like I said to Katrine Lunde. No? If you take Nora Mörk, Stine, whatever, which player you even put into the team, and you come and see a training or physical training, whatever you do, the dedication, when they go in there, they go with 100%. I've been to a lot of Olympics as a handball player and as a coach. I think I made 5 now as a handball coach with the Norwegian team. And every Olympics we're going into the physical training center, and the team is coming there, and we say, okay, everybody knows what you have to do. You have your own plans. You know tomorrow we should play or not play. Put yourself in shape. Continue with the good shape you're having, and they start to train. And every time there are some other coaches from other sports coming and asking, what sport are they from? Which sport are they from? Now it's team handball, it's handball. Oh, wow. They said, they're amazing to see them, how they train comparing a lot of times with other. Because when they come in, it's like, poof, they go there, boom, 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 next exercise, boom, boom, boom. And it's this dedication, you know, to want to be the best as an individual and as a collective. Our team meetings is a lot of discussions with the players, because what should we say to Kari Bratseth, for example, in the defense? We want you to do this, and then we have to ask you, what do you think about the situation? We have to get into the conclusion, what is best for the team? What can you put into the team? Because the level of knowledge, the level of dedication is, you can't come and tell them that you should do this. Tell Nora Mörk or Stine or Henny Reisdal, how she should play handball. We have to guide them, no? And this is amazing to be in this team because the dedication, the knowledge, and the willingness to share between them, no? To try to, okay, if I do this, I will help you. You can come in a better situation. So it's no ego, and there's Katrine Lunde also. She can be hard sometimes against some players, but with love, no, because she's never hard against anyone. Because if I'm not hard against you, the team will not benefit of it. But if I'm hard with telling you how it's inside this team, not only her, it's other players who do it also. The young one who's coming, okay, here is different. That's why we are among the best. What motivates me, it's to see, to share and see the person that I'm coaching as a goalkeeper coach, first of all, the individual, to see this person grow, no? See the happiness when they can do the things that we have been talking about or we have been training about, and see when the things are working out, no? That make a great satisfaction for me. Or when you're in a team, like in Norwegian team or in Flensburg, we set some objectives, go for the medals, go for this and this, and we reach it, no? And we can say, okay, we wanted to climb Mount Everest, we did it together. Yes, I have still this feeling, no? And my other part is the legacy, no? I've been very lucky to be living in handball and through handball, thanks to handball, almost all my life, except a couple of years when I was working in the computer business. So I want to give something back, no? And that's why I'm also in the Norwegian Federation. I'm half of my time as a dedication to the national team, and half of the time I'm a dedication to education, to educate other persons to take after and be better handball coaches and goalkeeper coaches. And that is one of the things that puts me forward, no? The most important advice is let the goalkeeper be yourself, and the job as a goalkeeper coach is I and you as a goalkeeper has to adapt your training methodologies to this goalkeeper, not the opposite.
So much.
Thank you.